Alright, what's going on? I'm going to do it a little bit differently today as I'm not going to the gym, and I'm just going to do an explanation kind of my fasting, what I'm doing right now. I just started fasting essentially today. So I've been cleaning up my diet and everything and kicking into fasting, which I've been trying to do to get into my cut. So what I do to not shock my system, or try not to shock my system as much as possible, you know, with like hardcore fasting and cutting calories and all this stuff, and shock the system, lose the muscle. It's just like anything else, as you gradually build into it, right? Just like working out. Since I haven't fasted in almost half a year or a year now or so, about half a year, that I'm gonna start gradual. So what I like to do is I start with either 10s or 12s, right? So you sleep, give or take, let's say on average 8 hours a day. Fasting while sleeping counts. You're no longer eating, food's being digested, all this good stuff. Fasting while sleeping is counted. So to people who think fasting for 10 hours might be out of the picture, it's really not that hard. Wake up for 2 hours, don't eat your breakfast. So essentially what I do, which what I did today, is a 10, 11 hour fast, and all I do is I don't eat breakfast. Go to work, do all my normal stuff, but I also don't put anything in my coffee. I now drink black coffee and water. Just black coffee and water, nothing in it. There's been studies that black coffee can actually help enhance the benefits of fasting, or allow you to enter that fasted state even quicker, which is what we want, right? We want that body to enter that fasted state. So then I'll explain to you about autophagy and the benefits of faster states, or not faster states, of greater durations of fasting. But for now, we'll just stick to the basics, because I'm just entering, and maybe you're gonna try it too, but I'm just entering again my fasting. So we're gonna stick with just the beginning, keep it as simple as possible. Skip breakfast. If you're a coffee drinker and you like your cream and stuff like that, you're gonna have to cut it out. It's not the end of the world, and believe me, you'll get used to the black coffee faster than you think. Now what I like to do is water my coffee down with cold water, because you can't really drink a black coffee instantly. So if you pick it up from Timmy's, or you homebrew it, I homebrew it. I do like half a cup or 3/4 of a cup, and then I just fill the rest up with some cold water so I can ingest it, you know, almost as quickly as possible, right? So that's just gonna help me stay alert, wake my body up, get me out of that groggy state, everything we want, especially when we're starting to deprive our bodies of food. Now, being in the first stages of only 10 hours and only having to go 2 hours of not eating, it's not horrible. Most people can go without breakfast. So drinking water, black coffee, that's all you get, 10 hours. Now I'm gonna do 10 hours for as long as I feel like I need to, until I can push up to 12 hours, right? So we're gonna incrementally increase the duration we're not eating to start entering different states of our fast. Ultimately, I want to be hitting 16 hours every single day, and on weekends either doing a 24-hour, or every other weekend, or once a month, one of the other ones, it'll be a 48-hour fast. Now I'm not gonna get there to a 48-hour fast, because I'm building in gradually. I don't want to shock my system by cutting food out for 24 hours or 48 hours, and my body's like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? Are we getting food again? So maybe it's gonna start eating my muscle away. My plan, and what's worked for me in the past, is gradually introducing it, gradually building up to a harder fast. So 10 hours. Do 10 hours for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, maybe a week, however long it takes you. Then when you feel like you're ready, push for 12 hours, right? Once you get a little used to the 12 hours, you're like, oh, I'm not really hungry anymore. I can push maybe a 14-hour now, right? And then eventually build to 16, right? Just little gradual steps, and eventually 12 hours is nothing. Eventually you're doing 16 hours every single day. And now this is where the magic apparently really starts to happen, is at that 16-hour mark. I guess I can explain it here, is where we start entering into a state called autophagy. Now, autophagy is what really drew me into fasting. Not only that, but also you get a natural growth hormone spike. And I don't know if that's because your body's entering a survival state or whatnot, but growth hormone, most people know what growth hormone is, right? It helps you grow, right? It's it helps you look and be younger. It helps your cells rejuvenate. It just helps everything work more. I guess that's a bad terminology of how I worded it there. But essentially, it's just going to help you grow and be a better you. Everything's replenishing. Now, autophagy, entering these, this is why I want to enter these 16-hour, 24-hour, 32, 36, 48 hours eventually. 48-hour fast is autophagy. Autophagy is the state your body can only enter while it's not eating. It has to be a certain increments, so I'm pretty sure anyways, it's 16 hours to start, and then it's continuous up until 48 hours, where apparently autophagy completely maxes out in the body. But autophagy is the recycling and complete renewal of cells in your body, which is something I am 100% interested in. And if anyone's doing training or fitness for the health aspects and for the feeling better aspects, you should give this a go. I really recommend it. Build into it and just, 10 hours, 12 hours, slowly build into it and eventually try and push for 16s, 24s. But autophagy is where the magic is at. This is going to be essentially, since your body's no longer focused on eating and digesting and everything, you're in the state of autophagy, which is now your body's going to go inside itself and do the cleansing work. It's going to do that deep tissue work it can't normally do while you're in an eating state. You have to be in a fasted state, again, in certain time intervals, starting, I'm pretty sure, at 16 hours, maxing out at 48. So your body's going to go inside itself, and as we age, our cells age also, and they degrade and they decay. Well, your body's going to go inside and start removing these bad cells. It may start removing cancerous cells. Even new cells eventually start degrading and becoming older, where it's going to go into itself, start destroying all these cancer-ridden cells, and even starting to use that energy to rebuild these newer cells, to make the new cells that were slightly a little aged. The 1-year-old cell is a little old, it's got a little bit of fraying around the edges. It's going to rework it and remake it and rebuild your cells from the cellular level, right? It's this is what really got me into it. It's the recycling and renewal of your body from the inside out, which is freaking super amazing. I personally think, I want to do this for longevity, to look better, to feel better, to be better, right? Now, while you're also entering these states, you're firing off your natural growth hormone, which is crazy. You're spiking natural growth hormone. The body, I don't know if this, I don't know all the science behind this, but I don't know if this is because your body's going into a defensive state in a way, and it's putting on a shock, so now you're not eating. It's going to send a surplus of growth hormone so that it's not decaying your muscles. But now you can leverage this. So my biggest thing is I am very nutrient dense when I'm doing this. I'm not eating shit foods. I do have a cheat day once a week, but I'm very strict the rest of the week. Very strict. And I'm making sure I load up on nutrient dense foods hard. So my first meal I like to do, always to break any fast, but usually my 16 hours, 24 hours, and especially 48-hour fasts, is I do a big plate of dried fruit and nuts. And it's just a big assortment of dried fruits and nuts, right? So I'll have cashews, pumpkin seeds, walnuts, almonds, cashews, pumpkin seeds, walnuts, almonds, probably one other one. It's kind of leaving my head. But then I do dried mangoes, dried cranberries, dried dates, dried ginger, all of this stuff. Now what this is doing is loading my body up with nutrient dense foods after that fast. So my body's going to go to work utilizing all the nutrients in this nutrient dense food to start, building the muscle again and recovering. And now since we've entered this state, we've tricked our body into supplying us with a surplus of natural growth hormone, which into certain states lasts longer, and that can actually have peaks in some people of up to 2,000 or more %. So eating properly in these after these fasted states, my bad, not in them, after these fasted states, still training in the gym, and then doing all of this properly, loading yourself up, is going to hopefully, and in my case, my experience, mitigate strength loss, mitigate muscle loss, and then just shred you to freaking hell. This is, again, I didn't say this, but this is also good, as long as your doctor says it's okay, good for diabetics. Entering fasted states is going to allow you to, what's the word? Like, level out your blood sugar, right? Like, you're always eating processed foods. Even if you're not eating processed foods, say you're eating a lot of sugar or just fruits or shit in general, you're spiking your glycogen levels, right? You're constantly spiking everything. So entering the fastest states, again, is letting your body renew itself completely from the inside out. It's insane. It's freaking insane. So I will get into my diet and everything a lot more once I get there. And I'll show you exactly what I am eating. But all I try and do is stay as clean as possible. Like today, I don't have the nuts and fruit. I got to pick them up this weekend. It's Thursday today. I'm going home for Friday, Saturday, back to work Sunday night, but start Monday, right? I get a 3-day weekend. And yeah, I'm gonna show you. You're gonna see. I'm gonna get stupid shredded. I'm sitting around 178.8 right now, body weight. And by the end of this, I'm assuming I'll be around 165. And this is going to be a long cut. The reason I'm doing this long is, again, not to shock the body as much as possible. I don't want my body to be like, holy shit, where'd the food go for, say I do a full 24-hour fast and I haven't braced for it. My body's like, where's the food? Maybe it starts eating my muscle. I don't know for sure. But to me, it just makes sense, right? Your body's not braced for it. It's gonna be like, whoa, like, I'm hungry. Let's eat at this, right? But if I've braced for it through the steps, 10 hours, oh, my body's used to 10 hours. What's 10 hours? It knows it's gonna eat 2 hours from now. 12 hours, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna eat 4 hours after I wake up. 14 hours, 6 hours after I wake up, you know what I mean? Advice up to 8 hours after I wake up. Your body's gonna get used to this. Now that it knows it's gonna have food consistently coming to it, you can push for a 20-hour. Go back, then do your 16 hours, right? Push for a 24-hour. Now after I do my I'll explain all this as I'm doing it too. Just to kind of hopefully ease you through it, make it a little easier if anyone is trying to follow along. But after a big 24-hour fast or anything over a day, I'll skip my next day of fasting, go into regular eating, and then I'll continue my 16-hour fasts the next day. To me, this just seems, well, it's worked the best for me, right? I'm not trying to go right and do another fast and deprive my body of all the nutrients I should be giving it at that point. I've already done a big fast, accomplished my goals, let my body re-regulate a little bit, and go with a normal day of eating, pick up the 16-hour fasts the next day. So this is going to be freaking nuts. And if this goes well, it's going to be about a 4 to 5 month cut. This is not a quick cut. This is a very slow, gradual cut. Trying to maintain as much muscle as possible. Trying to throw in as much nutrient-dense foods into the body as possible. And just trying to do it as healthy as possible, right? Like, I'm going to look stupid. I've done it already. And this bulk, I'm hoping, like, my goal was to add muscle. I'm hoping I've added muscle. If I haven't, then, what am I doing? I'm obviously not training properly in the gym. But yeah, this is going to be sick. I'm going to be losing up to 15 pounds over a 4 to 5 month duration, right? But it's going to be freaking wild. And I hope to have you along on the journey. Again, I'm going to label every video, like this video today will be labeled as day 1 fasting, 10 hours, car explanation or something. So every single video I'll say like day 2, 10 hours, day 3, 10 hours, example. And say I do day 4, 12 hours, right? It'll always have a title. Of day 4 I do chest, like today I'm not training because I'm driving, but I'll say day 4, 12 hours, chest day, right? So I'll kind of split it up, the hours I'm fasting, what I'm doing, eventually get into my diet. I won't do that all the time. I'll just kind of give one video of what I'm eating because it's going to be very strict and I like to stick to the same foods quite consistently. But I'm excited because last time I did this, I got stupid diced. And I'm not really doing this for anything. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it because, I don't know, because I freaking can, I guess, I like to look stupid shredded too, especially for pictures. And the ultimate goal I'm making these videos, of course, there's got to be an ultimate goal. You can't just be doing stuff willy-nilly in life and have no goal, because then there may not be an outcome. So yes, of course, my ultimate goal would be to one day get sponsored. That would be amazing. I would love a sponsorship from Young LA. Favorite clothing brand, hands down. Gymshark, can't go wrong. I'm a Canadian boy. They're Canadian. Rain Body Fuel, love Rain Body Fuel. Always drink Rain, like before all my workouts. Or Rider Wear shoes. They also do clothing, like some of my favorite brands right there. So ultimate goal in the end, sponsorship. But if nothing does come of it, I'm perfectly fine, and I am doing this for me. And it could be like a video log one day, almost like how parents look back on pictures in an album. This could be me looking back one day when I'm, 40, 50, 60, being like, oh, that's what I did when I was, well, I'm 34, right? Most of you probably don't know how old I am. That's my age. I'm a little old dude. Yeah. But I gotta get some gas. That's kind of my explanation of fasting and what I'm going into. Hopefully I did a decent breakdown. I'll explain more about autophagy and stuff, try and explain it more through videos so people get an idea. I might just do a pure video just explaining autophagy and not this whole explanation as I did. And yeah, no gym today. Picking back up tomorrow. Be going into again, every day fasting, starting with 10 hours. If I feel like I can push for, let's take the next step for 12, right? It'll be gradual. But again, I'll list it on every single video so you know where I am and maybe you want to try and tag along. I definitely recommend it. Especially if you're doing this for the health benefits. If you do this right, you're going to see stupid results from this. Stupid good is what I mean. Like, you are going to be very happy with yourself. Alright. I got to gas up and I got to drive my ass 2.5 hours home. So I will see you in the next one. Alright. Peace.